In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make that dough. Welcome to More Approved. I'm James, and today I'm teaching you how to make my all-purpose dough recipe. This dough recipe can be used from everything from French hamburger rolls to pretzel buns, to pizza, to breadsticks, to calzones, to strombolis, to French bread, baguettes, whole shebang, you name it, we're going to get it started. For this recipe, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of an instant rise yeast, 1.5 teaspoons of granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I like to use Filippo Berrio. You'll need 2 cups of warm water. Make sure it's not hot, otherwise it will kill the yeast and it's not going to rise. When it comes to the flour, you need to use a bread flour. I like to use King Arthur. You need 1 pound, 12 ounces. Last but not least, you're going to want to use 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt. And after you have all of your mise en place in the bowl, you're going to go ahead and put the mixing bowl in the mixer. Go ahead and attach your dough hook. Give it a twist. Put it up to the top. And you're going to want to mix this for roughly 10 to 12 minutes. So now we have everything out. I'm going to go ahead and divide this into 2 portions. It's a nice consistency. You want it to be a little bit sticky, but not too sticky. If it's too sticky, you're going to have a problem. This is the one I'm going to use for my breadsticks, so I have it in a square-ish looking bowl. I'm going to put a little bit of oil over the tops of these and then cover it with some plastic wrap and check on them in 45 minutes to an hour. As you can see, the dough has risen up nicely, and we'll get started with the breadsticks. So basically, you want to just push it out. If you have a rolling pin, you can use a rolling pin as well, but I'm just going to do it by hand. So I'm just going to use a pizza cutter and then start making even cuts all the way across. You don't want this to be too thin, and you're going to see why in a second. If it's too thin, it's just not going to rise right. This is the pan I'm going to be using, and I'm actually just going to take and start oiling it down. You're going to twist it gently. Twist it gently. Set them into place. You want them to be sort of touching. We're going to twist again and set it down. All right, this is good. We don't really have to cover this back up because it's well saturated with oil on all areas. The bottom's good. And this will probably take about a half hour to rise up properly. It's been about 20 to 30 minutes. My breadsticks have risen. You can see they're nice and puffy, and the oil kept it from drying out. I'm just going to add a little bit of cheese to this now. And I'm just going to be generous, put it in the center. You're going to want probably 6 to 8 ounces of cheese. I've got my oven preheated to 500 degrees, and I'm going to cook these on the top rack. After about 10 minutes, I'm going to check them. It should take about 10 to 15 tops. All right, the breadsticks turned out pretty well. It took exactly 10 minutes at 500 degrees. I think the end product is superb. And thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. This is my all-purpose dough recipe, so in the near future, I will show you some other uses for it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and go check out all of the great items to make this recipe possible. Till next time, I'm James. See you then.